Hello and welcome back to another episode of Imperator Rome. My name is Tobal. We're in the middle of our conquest of Lusania, the ally of our original target, Samnium here. We do also have a invention available right now because we're over 100 civic power. So I think I'd like to look into, where did I see it earlier? Yeah, there is actually Proxenoi. I don't know how to pronounce that, but this will give us more opinion when we use the Improve Opinion mission. In our diplomacy, this will give us another bit of opinion to that action. So I'm going to go ahead and take this because it's going to raise it by 20% on top of what we're already getting. I don't remember which one we're at. We should be at actually quite a bit. If I go to one of my allies here and actually click on their country, there we go. If we go into the relation, now we're going to, yeah, this will improve it by 153 over time. And if we already are at 70, that means that we should be able to start the integration process at some point soon. As soon as I can, oh, actually I can do it now. We have 100 oratory power. So the stance is what I talked about before, the diplomatic stance. These have different levels of influence and adjustments to normally diplomatic type of relations. So if you take the subjugative stance, for example, this is going to be good when you're trying to integrate your subject states. You have an integration speed boost, you also have a higher loyalty, and all of your subjects get a 20 flat bonus to their relationship with you. Bellicose is more of an aggressive stance, so you're getting lower war score cost as well as a reduction in the cost to fabricate claims, but you have a negative to some of the opinions of your neighbors. Mercantile, appeasing, and neutral, you can kind of hover over those and see. We've got aggressive expansion decay on appeasing. I will probably do appeasing once we're done with our wars on the Italian peninsula, and also we're done integrating all of our subjects. I don't know if we gather any or we gain any aggressive expansion by doing that, but we do want to work on making sure we keep that down, because Rome is obviously someone who is going to be aggressively expanding all the way through Cisalpine Gaul and into mainland France and into present-day Germany and things like that, Austria. So we will be pissing some people off, no doubt. So the remainder of the enemy forces are right here in Velia. Now we have the 2nd Legion tucked back into Roman territory. I was going to use this unit reorganization option, which it costs 5 military power, but it increases the rate at which we reinforce by 25%. So it's going to start taking away from manpower, which right now we've got plenty of manpower. I do need to look into ways to improve the rate at which we gain pops we gain manpower from our pops at some point too, because we tend to run out if the battles aren't going well. So I also want to go ahead and look into when our good old Publius Sempronius gets done with his consulship. And if I go into the government view, right here is a bar that will tell me when the next election is. So 455, we have 3 more years, fully 3 years here with our guy in power. Now he has the ambition to be appointed dictator. So if I click on him, I'll see the appoint dictator option. So unfortunately right now, that is not something that anyone would really want to support. In fact, I lose a good amount of loyalty by forcing this through from 3 separate factions. One of the ways to get some base support is if we have over 80 popularity. And what I want to do is hold a triumph for him. We have to have a victory within 720 days though. So that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull off of this siege, and I'm going to try to get our leader, our glorious leader here, into a bit of a scuffle. So I'm going to push him in, pull him back. I'm going to keep the 2nd Legion here, because at least they are acting as a stop force in case the Lucian army decides to roll into our side of town. We shouldn't really have too many issues. They have completely split their army, so we are going to overwhelm them unless they gather up in one particular spot. Hey, we have a daughter, Sempronia Prima. Welcome. What's your ambition? To grow up. That's adorable. Are you like a sim? Do you have a goal to have a happy childhood? Okay, so we are in Potentia now. So where are the forts at? Okay, so if I want to attack this stack here, their army that's sitting on the Paestum province, or the city, I would have to come in from the Erna province. So no matter what, I'm going to have to go to Erna. And I think what I'll do is go ahead and move our 2nd Legion to reinforce. I'd like to start the battle with our consul in the lead and then reinforce with the 2nd Legion. That way we can get him some experience points if he wins said battle. So we're going to be, there's a battle here on 18th of March. We're actually going to win, we're going to not win the battle, but we're going to get there first. So we will start the show. They in theory should reinforce since they know that there's nowhere for them to go, but it is what it is. And as soon as we win this battle, I'm going to immediately jump onto the next stack. Yeah, overwhelming force. We are just absolutely clobbering their enemies. Ooh, touched by Mercury. Venafrum, I'm guessing this is a city, has seen a huge influx of traders and travelers from far and wide, and we must have been blessed by Mercury himself. Paying our dues to the god might be a good idea, so we will be inspired by the god and make the most of this. Whoa, holy crap. We get 57 gold, and Venafrum gets a bonus for 20% tax for the next 5 years. Make the most out of it. Thanks to Mercury is in order. We would lose 76 gold. We would gain some religious power. Blessing of Commerce for 10 years. Both national tax by 5 and local tax by 20 for Venafrum. So we would have a national tax modifier of 5%, and the omen duration would last a bit longer. I think this is the smarter route to go long term. We should be gaining that 76 back very, very quickly. Although right now we're in the negative, but obviously we're going to war. We're actively trying to reinforce, so it's going to be costing some extra bits of money. So let's go ahead and say a thanks to Mercury in order. We'll kill some sheep and kill some merchants, maybe sacrifice a few merchants here and there. All right, the Battle of Erna is won. Why did Marcus Flavius get this? I thought I led with Publius. Well, that's rather annoying. It's all under one army, too. There's not a separate flag here for our separate armies. Is it because he had the higher skill? Does the higher skill commander get the command? Is that how it works? Let's see if we can't force march into an intercept. This is going to be 12 April. They're going to be out of here on 16 April. Okay, well then, Publius, you're going to have to fight this fight all on your lonesome, and then maybe I'll... Well, shoot, it's still going to tell me that we're not quite winning. We have a negative on terrain. We should win this in theory. 248, 243. We have the morale bonus here. There we go. They're starting to fold a bit more. We're losing a lot of troops, but hey, you know what? We're Roman. We're going to sacrifice a little here and there for the glory of everyone. Let's move the 2nd Army over to that enemy fort at Grementum. Excellent. So that should be a win here, and then we're basically, aren't we sitting right on... Sorry, I clicked away from that battle result a little faster than I wanted to. Let's go ahead and take Velia. I'm going to set my Independent Legion here to the Independent Operations action. So this general is going to do whatever they want to do. In theory, they should help us try to reinforce and take over some of this territory. Okay, so good old Publius, you've won a couple battles. Can I click on your portrait and say, hold a triumph? In fact, I can. It's going to cost 20 military power. It's going to cost 20 religious power. However, it's going to give us a crap ton of loyalty and popularity. So we are now sitting at 91 popularity, which is awesome. So we got a little bit of support here for this idea of becoming dictator. So everyone likes us a little bit. We would have to what? The faction is currently in power. So our faction in power means that they're going to support us. That's 100% of a bonus. Target is less than 30%. Less than 30 loyal would be a negative. Wow, they just really don't like us that much, huh? Is there just no flat happiness here? Their base of support is at a certain level, so we need to raise the support level, I'm guessing, somehow. No idea how that works. I've done it before, and we actually had the complete support to appoint a dictator. Popularity changes. What does this do? Doesn't really have a flat gift. The Latin local power of Messapia has gifted us 22 gold to say, please God, don't crush us under your Roman heel. We also have a trade offer from Locri, the Hellenistic state of, is it Locri? I think it's Locri. They're much farther down on the boot of Italy almost, and they're offering to trade us. Okay, so we haven't really talked about trade. Let's move this to the side here. Under trade overview, these are, in some of this I'm still kind of coming to understand. So overall you have some surplus in your capital. If you have a surplus in the capital, you get certain bonuses nationwide. So army maintenance is lowered because we have wine. Heavy infantry discipline is higher because we have better iron, and we have grain, so we have a national manpower boost. Now, this is specific to Rome, I think, or is it the Latium province? If I click all over here, you're seeing that we have a +1 symbol, meaning we have a +1, we have a surplus of this in the home capital province. So I could trade this away. If I click on the plus symbol, I can create a route to other nations if they are willing to trade. Additionally, I believe we can go under, let's see, we can click the province itself, click on trade route, and we can try to import other goods too. So in this one, it's almost like, it's not quite like civilization, but how some goods would give you like a happiness bonus, or some goods would give you a bonus to production. So you're, depending on what you import, it gives you a type of bonus. So if we import fish into Latium, we would get a local population growth of 0.05. And then each surplus in the province, we would get an additional 0.02. From what I understand, trade is still a bit fuzzy math for me, so I've not really delved into it. I'm kind of going off of my rough understanding. So over here in Campania, we have extra wood. So if we trade the wood away, we are going to get some bonuses. Actually, this is what they want us to do. They want us to trade, they want to import our wood from Campania to their nation. Now, if we, apparently if you export it, you're going to get some bonuses. So if you you might lose a national bonus from having a surplus, but it seems as though when you export something, you get a bonus for exporting it, and we're going to make some money. So there we go. Rather long-winded explanation to say, I'm not quite sure yet. Let's figure it out. Sorry about that. We're learning as we're going, so it's a lot of fun. All right, meanwhile, Legion, the first Legion is sacking the city of Velia, and the second Legion is moving into their second fort. This should be pretty much it. We're at 47 war score. They really don't have any other troops to muster, I'm pretty sure. Oh god, 19? Where do they have 19 at? I wonder if they're hiding down here somewhere or above us. Where in the world are they hiding 19 cohorts? Unless they've all shattered, and it's like, you know, 5 men in each or something like that. That could be it. That could be the case. Or they're tucked in here. In fact, why don't we go ahead and send our scouts into this vicinity so I can kind of get eyes on what's happening. All right, we have another trade proposal. I keep hitting the button because for some reason my spacebar isn't really wanting to pause all the time. There we go. Okay, so we have another trade proposal, this time from Pelignia. Pelignia, that sounds right. So they want us to trade our wine surplus. So this is where I was talking about. We have a surplus right now, which is giving us a army maintenance cost reduction. But if we lose the surplus, we would lose the 5%, but because we're exporting it, we would gain 2.5. So we're down a little bit in maintenance, but we're making a little bit more in gold per month. Now the math, I'm sure, would say somewhere along the way, what a reduction in 2.5 to, I don't know. Math is hard. I'm never going to really be the one to go crazy deep in numbers. I'm going to be like, yeah, that sure sounds good. So I apologize. I'm sure there's much more efficient ways to go, but that's not how I roll. We just make gut decisions and trust in the force, and everything will be fine. I wonder if they're curving up for like a sneak attack behind us. We actually had a new family arrive. I shouldn't have clicked through that too quick. These are, by the way, we haven't touched the character screen. These are all of the major families in Rome. Can I see the guy that... Holy crap, there's a ton of families here. Oh, these are the characters. I'm sorry. This is the family list. There we go. So this is the family list. I don't know who just showed up. I thought it was like a tribesman that showed up. So these are actually all of the individual characters. This is kind of cool. We can actually sort by different levels. Is there anyone like super disloyal, by the way? Quintus Tremulus, why are you so disloyal, man? Well, I gotta be like that. Oh, because we have a little bit of tyranny. So having high tyranny, or any tyranny, decreases your loyalty a bit per month. So yeah, we want to be really careful about building up tyranny too far. We have a couple of light corrupted individuals. Yeah, I still don't... A lot of the character stuff is still something I don't understand yet, because some people, for example, when we have an opening in the government, I can't quite assign certain people to it. And I've been trying to find ways to make sure the scorned families are happier, and I'll get into that here maybe after the next couple of sieges are done. Another envoy showed up from Marcia this time. They want to take our iron. I mean, we have a pretty strong military as it is. I don't know if, 2.5%, I don't think that's going to absolutely destroy us here, because in theory we should have the numbers and the allies for this. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this trade offer too. We're going to start boosting this commerce income a lot, because I want to eventually go back into the religion screen, and instead of the blessing of Pluto next time around, I want to take the blessing of Mercury so we can have a bit more commerce. I think eventually commerce is going to make more than tax income would. Let's go back to that character screen. So the families thing, the way it describes it, a respected family must earn at least 2% of the state's income between all family members. If all of its eligible adults are employed by the state, they will also consider themselves respected. So it's really interesting. And scorned families don't have all of their eligible males or eligible adults employed by the state. So I'm pretty sure it's not designed to keep everyone happy, right? There's only so many jobs you're going to have available at any time. So I'm guessing what you have to do, especially with the families who have a high amount of prestige or a lot of influence, you're trying to basically curry favor with some and make sure you don't let any family slip too low into the well of, disloyalty. I'm guessing there's going to be kind of a juggling act to go, and maybe that's where aspects of Crusader Kings has made its way here. I would like more information about the characters. I think that's something that I'm going to have to watch a video or read a post on. I'm sure they did a blog post about it that I've just missed, but we'll have to pay attention to that. I do want to make sure I'm not scorning too many of our Roman allies here. A lot of these screens I've looked over, and some of them I just have to look more in depth. We'll talk about the governor stuff here in just a minute too, once we're done with this war. I also want to go into each province and show you some options and some information about the population and how you can build buildings and things like that. So lots of stuff we basically just haven't even covered yet, because this game has a ton of new things to it. I also like how many different overlays we have on the map. We're looking at Publius. Wait a minute, what? Publius Sempronius is known for being a pushover. If one wants to take something, a simple threat is a... Oh, no. How did we get that? We had no option to even do anything? Is it because we basically pandied to the religious faction? That's annoying. I don't want to be weak-willed. Boo. I have no idea why we got that. Well, such is life. What does it actually do for us, though? If we check out what it says. Weak-willed, monthly character prominence -10 or minus 0.1, and local fort defense lower. The siege of Grumentium has been won. We have now access to move forward and kick some more butt. I think at this point we pretty much conquered everything they have left. We could sue for peace, but we need to... The fort in Velia needs to be occupied for it to be part of the peace treaty. Yeah, we got that. So we have to conquer Velia, and then I'm pretty sure we're good to go at that point. Let's use the other small detachment here to take over the territory that hasn't been claimed, and I'm going to go ahead and march our army back into Roman lands. The 2nd Legion will take them back home. They'll finish restoring their manpower, and yeah, we should be all set. Let me speed things up. We'll finish this war off. The Siege of Velia is won. Our war score is now at 99%. I believe... If you are hardcore, I think if you've taken the original province that you had in the war goal and your war is dragging on, eventually you will be forced into a peace. It'll pop up here as a banner, and it'll say in X amount of days you'll be forced into accepting whatever. I think you just take the thing that you wanted. So you have to be a little bit cautious about where your troops are, how fast you're trying to move through the war. Okay, so we're in the super peace menu. This is basically we're demanding certain things. So I'm going to use suggest because it pretty much selects everything. I'm also going to go down here and have them give us lots of their money because why not, right? If I click away, by the way, it clears the entire offer. So if I do suggest, it's actually suggesting us things from both nations. So if you see here, Lusania here is to the south and Samnium is to the north. It's actually suggesting we take all of that land. So this is our acceptance. We are, of course, crushing them, so they're desperate to sue for peace, and they no longer exist. Taking this peace offer will increase our rank to regional power. Hooray! Okay, so after the battle is done, after the protracted conquest, we have finally rounded up all the armies and laid all their stuff to waste. So we got a bunch of their families. What should we do with them? So we kill them all, we'll get a little bit of popularity. We're already at 100%, or 100, so I don't think it's really that necessary. Banish those of class and put the rest to the sword will reduce the aggressive expansion by 0.5. Now, if you look here, we actually have quite a bit of aggressive expansion now. We have 8.4, which is causing a little bit of unhappiness with anyone who's not of our culture group, and our subject states have a little bit less loyalty. So I'm going to take anything I can to reduce that aggressive expansion. So for both the Samnite and the other Lusanians, we're going to take that AE, that aggressive expansion reduction. Now we're considered to be a regional power. We've increased in rank, so basically we have at least 25 cities. Now we can threaten war, have alliances, and guarantee other countries. We also get one additional import route, more diplomatic relations, which I don't quite know what that bonus gives us. We can explore that in a bit. Much farther range, so we can contact and communicate with farther powers. And government bonus multiplier, what that means is now that's this bonus here, once it activates, once that bonus activates, you're going to see 2s in all of these slots. Maybe at the end of the month, huh? We'll find out. So, we are no longer at war. Rome is once again at peace. Let's go ahead and bring everyone back into Latium proper, including our long-lost cavalry unit. Alright, so we have, some starving pops. That's interesting. So, the following cities are currently starving. Grumentium. Why are you starving? Because... So you have unrest because you're starving. Why are you starving? I don't think I've ever seen... You have no slaves. Is that... What does... The slaves are the one that produce your food? Manpower? Let me go click on another city here. So, the 6 slave pops provide the following benefits. An increase to base tax. Okay. So is this the only city in that region, maybe? What was it called again? No, it's actually part of a larger... It's all part of Lusania. So in theory, they should be trading food back and forth, I would think. Their resource is literally livestock, though. Interesting. So why are they having a starvation problem? Is it just a delay after our war is done here? We have no buildings built. We've got a couple of offers on the table. I don't really want to ally with anyone. And no, I don't care about military access requests either. I could build a granary that's going to increase the population growth and the slave happiness. Are you doing some kind of a funky... governor choice here? Governor policy, you've chosen encourage trade, which increases the trade route by 1 and increases your commerce value by 2. Sorry, 10%. I don't know where I saw 2 at. So why is this starving? Sorry, folks, I'm just kind of curious to see what's going on. Is it because we don't have enough of a working class? Should I demote? For example, I think I can demote. No, this is already Hellenic. I can only move them. I can only promote them up. So I actually need to move some slaves. Okay, well, let's see. Let's move. Who has a lot of slaves here? The city of Consilnum has a slave. Let's click on the slave, click on move, and then move them to Grumentium. Is that going to stop our starvation problem? Sure enough, it did. So, okay, so if you have 0 slaves, I'm guessing you have no one to bring in the harvest. Instead of any kind of a low-class worker, it's all slaves. Okay, well, there we go. Did not know that whatsoever. Excellent. Okay, so this would be a bad time to talk about these different populations. So we have citizen, freeman, tribesmen, and slaves. Now, from what I understand, and this is a part where I really could use your input. If you've seen another Let's Player, if you've read a lot of the blog posts, I would love to know more about what the populations do. But if we hover over them, they give us the basic information that the slaves will give you an increased base tax, the tribesmen give you more manpower base tax, and freemen and the citizens give you local manpower increases and then research points too. Attempted bribery, we have been bribed by Gnaeus Flavius, the head of the populist faction. made us a nice benefit. Local unrest and local tax. So so this is basically saying if you give us this law, we'll owe you a favor. Oh, is this, hang on a second. Outrageous is going to reduce his loyalty. Bantium, so they want a specific city to have state-owned farmlands until end of game. Increases the local tax by 15%. We would owe them a favor. Okay, so they would change this particular city. I mean, how big is Bantium? Where's this at? Bantium? If I click on the province, by the way, it lists all the cities here, which is pretty helpful. So this must be a smaller city, maybe in one of those separate little provinces here. Can I quickly see all of my cities in the outlier by chance? Not from here. I'm at a loss where Bantium is. Do you all see Bantium anywhere hiding around? Huh. Bantium gets state-owned farmlands. That's not like a city or a family, is it? Well, I mean, I guess I'll accept it. I assume it's somewhere in here, and I don't mind owing the populist faction a few favors. That's fine with me, I suppose. We are a pushover, by the way, so maybe I should roleplay it that, hey, whatever a faction wants to do with us, we're going to accept it. We have another trade offer here from Liberna. Where are you at? You are across the sea here and into Greece territory a little bit. 0.53 a month, import wood from Lusania. I guess we're just going to accept that flat out because more money doesn't hurt. Now we're going to get into the part of the game where I'm just going to start exploring it with you because a lot of this stuff I'm just kind of like, I don't know what this does. Let's push the button and find out. We were talking about the population, so let's go back to a city that has lots of population here. So Rome, for example, we have 9 different slave groups, 3 tribesmen. We have a bunch of freemen and a ton of citizens. So the more citizens you have, the more research points you generate. But I think every class builds on itself, right? Every level of citizenship or what have you. I don't know if they do something in particular by themselves. Now, when you click on any of these cultures, any of these populations, you can choose to promote them up to another class. So, for example, I could promote the tribesman up to a freeman. So that's one good way, or one way that you could increase one of the classes. If you're trying to, reinforce one particular class or get more of a certain type, you could aim for that. But like, for example, we have no tribesmen here. Can I promote them? So I could promote some slaves to tribesmen. What if I just do that? I mean, does it change anything here? Let's see. If we just look at Fundi, we're making, so that's supply limit, sorry. The gold will be down here. We're making 0.83. What if I just promote one of them? What happens? 0.74. So actually it reduced the, wait, where did you go? They left the area. Promoting this pop to become a freeman will cost 10 oratory power. But where did they go? Did they go to a different province? That's really interesting. Is it because we have no tribes-type buildings? I have no idea. So, in terms of buildings, every city area, every territory here is going to have a certain limit of how many buildings you can build. You can build a marketplace, a training camp, a fortress, or a granary. Now, by the way, we talked about the fortress stuff. I might keep this fort because it is on kind of our western northwest front. I'm going to go ahead and reduce or remove the fort from Rome. Can I do that? You can only destroy buildings that exist. Where did that fort go? I could have sworn there was one in Rome proper. I guess not. We do have some forts over here, though. Let me pause the game. We're getting quite a few trade offers in. So I can reduce the fort over in Saticula because, I mean, at this point, we have this territory nice and secure. Everything else is ours all the way over to the rest of Italy. So let's remove the fort. It is costing about, 5 gold per month to maintain these forts. I'm going to kill this fort, kill this fort. This fort is allied, right? Yeah, this is another allied city here. This is down in the city of Pompeii and Nuceria. I thought... Am I losing my mind? Okay. Anyways, so we've got that taken care of. Let's go ahead and look at more of these trade offers. They want to import some wine. Sure, we accept that. If we export olives, we're going to get 2.5. I'm guessing that we lose that 5% bonus. Again, trade, fuzzy math, uncertain. We've got unused trade routes in the capital. We could import something. We can also afford a new invention. So, national tribesman output 5%. Aggressive protection. I like diplomatic relations. This should, I'm guessing, hopefully improve our diplomatic, dealings with other nations. Let's go into diplomacy here. So we now have this flat diplomatic relation. So diplomatic relation increases the likelihood that other nations will consider your diplomatic proposals. Oh, it's just how polite we are. Okay, fair enough. Oh, by the way, we wanted to do a couple things with our subjects. So let's go ahead and click on, who's our biggest subject? I think it's going to be here, right? Because they seem Frentania. So Frentania has 15. I should be looking at cities. I'm not really caring too much about their cohorts. They've got 4 cities here. Are you one of our subjects? You are not. 4 cities, 3 cities, 2 and 2. Okay, so if we go down to improve opinion, this is going to improve their opinion of us by 153 over time. We're already at 36. So that should put us over the amount, or just under the amount needed to start the integration process. I'm going to start it anyways. Do we have a lot of oratory power? We do. So I'm actually going to try to see if does it actually cost us anything to maintain diplomatic relations, though? In EU4, remember, if you had a diplomat somewhere, if you had an agreement, I believe, it would cost you can only have so many diplomatic things going on at a time. So we have 1 active diplomacy now in the outliner. I don't see anything that says how many relations we can have. Hang on. This value indicates how many countries you can engage in active diplomatic treaties with at any time. Perfect. If you exceed this, you will receive various penalties. It looks like this does not count. What we're doing does not count as against this total. So I'm guessing if this is like an alliance or a defensive pact or something like that, that would count against how many diplomatic relations you can have. So that's a carryover from EU4 as well. Let's go ahead and convert a couple more of our allies here, or try to convert them. Improving them relationships. Perfect. Who else was it? 1, 2, 3. Where are you, my last little bit? Was it only 3? I thought we had a 4th nation here. What am I looking for? Looking for diplomacy. Go ahead and click on Rome. Where's New Syria? Oh, it's down. Okay, here we go. There we go. It's where Pompeii and New Syria is. Okay, excellent. Open diplomacy and improve opinion as well. Awesome. Let's see if there's any additional costs now in the... I'll have to wait till the month rolls over. By the way, there we go. There's that kick in that I mentioned before. We now have all of these resources are going up by 1. So we're getting more of each of our main powers per month. Once we get up to 800, I think, is the base. Once we get up to 800 military power, we'll be able to unlock tradition. So these are kind of ways to guide your nation down a certain path. So we could be very aggressive. March of the Eagle, morale of armies, heavy infantry discipline, heavy infantry offense. So very obviously focused down the traditional legion tree. Triple aces, which is the standard Roman tactic. Maybe in the Marian reforms, maybe before that. We have a bunch of trade offers on the table. Importing wine. I mean, I just don't know how much you can do this. I'm guessing you can just do it nonstop. It doesn't seem to be going against us. Looks like everyone wanted to trade wine, because as soon as I accepted one, they all went away. Freeman promotion cost negative 5%, so it costs a little bit less to promote our freemen if we accept this. What's our commerce up to now? 7.35. So we've really gained a lot in the commerce department. Excellent. What else can we be doing here? We're going to have an election here in 1 more year. I don't think I can appoint dictator because we're not at war. Now everyone would be approving of it. Well, poop. That's fine. I did want to make him, allow him to get his ambition fulfilled. I could go to war, but I'm wondering if we go to war, if that goes back down because we're at war. If all the relations with all these different factions goes down. So we have an open trade route in Italia, which means if we go to the trade route screen, now we can import whatever's available. So it really depends on other areas around us. Let's see. They want to request import wine. So yes, I guess that's fine. We could import wine ourselves. We could import livestock if we wanted to. I think livestock wouldn't be bad because it's going to give us more population growth. So I'm going to go ahead and say trade route livestock from... we can do it from province to province? Interesting. Okay, well, that's fair. I didn't know you could actually import from your own provinces. So this province has 0 out of 0. We could import something here in Lusania now, too. Although there's nothing available. I'm guessing either because we don't have enough ports or no one is in our range of trade. All right, let's unpause and let's take a quick look at the governor stuff here. So all these different provinces get assigned a governor. It looks like as soon as it happens, right? We wound up conquering these two regions and they immediately got a governor. The Marcus Fulvius, who is... How did you get all these jobs? What's your role here? You are just the member of the Fulvii faction family, rather. I mean, you are already a governor, so do we just keep on pumping you full of regions here, of provinces? I have no idea. Also, didn't we start a book at some point? Where's our damn book at? It's been like 5 years, right? I want my book. Jerk. All right. Friends across borders. Our censor has friends far outside of borders, and he's trying to increase or make relationships and friends with us. Elder of Apulia. Apulia is what, across the way, right? Can I see Apulia by this? No, I think I have to... Well, this is right here. Oh, Apulia is a faction, or is a country that we are not... They're not basically our subjects, so that would be kind of our war target. I don't really want to bribe them. I don't care about Apulia or their opinion of us. I really don't, Gabinii, my dear friend, because we're going to wind up conquering them at some point relatively soon. Can I threaten these folks here? If I go into diplomacy with Thuria, since it's basically like a city-state at this point. Yeah, it is a city-state. I don't think I can threaten them. I have no... Oh, okay, so you have to have Casus Belli before you threaten them. I would offer them client status... To make the Hellenistic state of Thuria a client state, their opinion of you must be at least 100. Wow, why is it so low? Oh, because of aggressive expansion, different culture group, and the bellicose stance. I never did change that. Let's change this over to subjugative stance. The local power of Brutia has donated 48 gold. Okay, subjugative stance should give us a little bit of a boost to diplomacy for pretty much everyone. Not a ton, but it's going to remove some of the penalty. And as we reduce our aggressive expansion, that's going to help too, except it looks like, who is this? Brutii is about to conquer Thuria. Anyways, well, that makes it easy, because now we just have to go to war with one nation to complete the, or to help complete the rest of our Italian expansion. Military access, I really don't care. You're just going to have to deal with what you're going to deal with. Wait, are you over here too? No, those are two separate nations. Tons of city-states. Is Syracuse considered a city-state, or is it going to be a larger power? Oh, it's actually considered a local power because it owns the entire eastern edge here of Sicily. Is it Sicily? What is it? What was it called? Siciana. I thought this was Sicily down here. There should be like a region. I think there is a regional map mode. It's all considered Magna Graecia or Italia, or, yeah, I think so. No. You cannot go through our territory. All right. Well, I think this might be a good point to wrap up the episode. Thank you all so much for joining me. I think next episode we're going to continue our peaceful conquest, our peaceful integration of all of our allies here. Try to make that Roman name a little bit bigger, spread a little bit more red and love across the map, and then pretty soon we're going to start taking war to the north. We have the Etruscans in the north. We also have some of the Cisalpine Gallic tribes that we need to, bring to heel and make sure that they understand a little bit of the Roman culture. The city-state of Metapontum is donating gifts as well. We are getting super rich, by the way. I'm completely fine with that. Next episode, too, I do promise we're going to look into a little bit more of how the governor stuff works, and I'd like to start putting down some more buildings because we have lots of openings here available. So we'll talk about that as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, take care.